Nice. So this tunnel passes under the road where the Frogman was first spotted, and then it dumps out into the river. My pants are wet.
The Frogman legend has gained popularity in recent years, and honestly, I'm not sure if he's real or not.
It's kind of cold down here.
But I don't see a lot of people out there trying to earnestly prove his existence. So, I thought I'd give it a shot. My goal with this is to do it sincerely and try to be as respectful as possible. There's no point in doing this if I'm not going to try my best.
Okay, I'm coming to the end. Okay. That's just water. This is not the river. Look at that. Not bad. I don't really know where I'm going. Oh, sick.
I figured the storm drains would be a good place to start for this investigation. They're cold and wet. The perfect place for a frog.
See. So, over there, through that, is the river. And in front of me, it's about, I'd say 6 to 8 feet of water. Shit. I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest. I really haven't found any physical evidence tonight. It's probably about 5 o'clock right now, 5 a.m. I think I'm gonna call it.
My first investigation yielded no results. This is the river I was trying to get to, the Little Miami River. This is the road which the Frogman was originally spotted, probably over about 50 years ago at this point. I later found out that, while close, this is not the exact road where the Frogman was first spotted. My point with the river still stands. If the Frogman is real, this is where I'll find him. This is the city of Loveland, Ohio, where the Frogman legend was first born.
Get a load of this guy. The first major Frogman sighting was in 1972. A police officer was driving down Riverside Drive when he spotted a large shape in the road. The shape then stood on its hind legs and revealed itself to be a 4-foot-tall reptile-like creature. The officer then took out his service revolver and fired at it. The creature then climbed over the guardrail and jumped into the Little Miami River. The river runs through the center of Loveland, which gives the town an exceptional cast of wild creatures. Some of them exceptionally dangerous. This is the Ohio River. The dumping grounds for all the rivers and streams in Ohio. There's nothing quite like the feeling of being on the water. "30 miles north back on the Little Miami, we have fishermen combing the seas for panfish and crawdad. But I'm not here looking for cheap fish and crustaceans. I'm looking for man. Frogman. I found this frog. It felt like I was halfway there. It's not easy cutting through the temperate rainforests of Ohio. It's a very unforgiving terrain. Everything out here is trying to kill you.
Look at this. Sucked dry. Now what could do this besides a frog?
I had the realization that my investigation was going nowhere. I needed to consult professionals, and there was only one place to do that. This is the conference center at the Great Wolf Lodge, the home of the first annual Frogman Festival. And there he is. I was honestly a little shocked to see this many people here just for the Frogman. There is a presentation going on here that I need to see. It has important information regarding the Frogman. Unfortunately, I arrived late and I found myself shut out of the conference room.
It's a man-frog hybrid. It's a giant iguana. It's a large iguana, but it doesn't have a tail. Mumble, whisper, or murmur down dirt roads.
Because I was shut out, I spent most of my time wandering the conference halls. But I did get to see this cool presentation featuring this snake. It's not really the Frogman, but it's still pretty cool. I left the festival disappointed, and I needed some time to clear my mind, because I had no idea what my next move would be. My solution was simple. I realized I just needed to go to next year's Frogman Festival. This year's festival did not take place at the Great Wolf Lodge. It took place at the Oasis, a dual event center and golf course.
Very pleased.
I spent most of my free time following around this man in the big frog costume. It was interesting seeing even random people dress up as the Frogman. But this big frog was inescapable. But of course, that's not the reason I'm here. This is the reason I'm here. James Willis. If I'm lucky, this guy has everything I need to know about hunting down the Frogman. This Frogman guy was hot shit. Everybody wanted a picture with him.
I think I'm going to have some explaining to do to my wife later, but my name is James A. Willis, and I love the Loveland Frog. Be it frog or be it man. That's a weird thing, right? Because you go up there and you look, and it's like, is this the Loveland Frog? Is it the Frog Man? What is it? It lives under bridges. It lives alongside the Little Miami River. It guards the Loveland Castle. Strange pronunciation, not mine. In-print version of what these two officers saw.
He went on to describe the previous confrontation that I had talked about earlier, and he said that there were actually two officers and not just one.
So, the most interesting thing is that Matthew's encounter is put here, even though he saw it second. Shockey, who sees it first, Shockey just does not want to talk about it. Here's some interesting thing. Matthews is the only one interviewed here. There are direct quotes from Matthews. So what Matthews is saying happened. Again, this is the earliest thing we have here. But Matthews said he never got a really close look at his prey because the animal gave one last hop, fell into the river, and was washed away. Okay, so remember that. That he sees it, it has a face like a frog, it's hopping, he shoots at it, it gets away, it goes down into the river.
He then went into great detail about the discrepancies of Frogman reports. You know, its height, its build, its color. He said that one of the original officers that saw it went back and rebuked his original statement and said it was not in fact a frogman, that it was an iguana without a tail that appeared very sickly. He also went on to talk about another encounter from the 1950s that often gets roped in with the Frogman. It's about a guy driving through Loveland who encountered three creatures under a bridge who appear to be holding magic wands.
This is my whole thing about wanting to know the truth behind that. This is not the Loveland Frog. It got pulled in with it, but it's not the same. But it doesn't really matter because we're all here today because of this thing. Woo! All right. That's it. I am out now. I always like to leave with this thing.
During the presentation, he mentioned something else that gets tangled up within the Frogman myth. The Loveland Castle, a local landmark made by a bunch of eccentrics. I remember going here as a child for a birthday party. I find masonry to be similar to alchemy, in the sense that I don't really understand what either of them are.
Go multitask.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I am to close this door though.
Okay.
I like to keep the heat.
The castle is located right next to the Little Miami River, on the banks of it, which is probably why it gets tangled up within the Frogman myth, when in actuality, I don't think it has anything to do with the Frogman. Most of the stone that the castle is made out of comes from the Little Miami River, a likely place for it to come from. I can't help but feel the eyes of strangers upon me during my investigation. The castle was originally the vision of one singular man, a World War I veteran named Henry. He worked on the castle for 50 years until his death. And then a group of people, calling themselves the Knights of the Golden Trail, brought it to completion. On the outside of the castle, you can see the word Chateau La Roche, which is French for big building. I find no evidence of the Frogman here. Another part of the Frogman myth is that he resides under bridges. Though I think the legitimacy of this claim has been brought into question.
Zoom in on me. Zoom in.
Though, to me, it makes sense. Who doesn't like a good bridge? Being in the river, I started to think about all the other organisms in the Little Miami. And I started to think about their possible relation to the Frogman. During this investigation, I found a mysterious footprint in the mud. Here it is compared to my size 13 foot. Now most likely, this footprint isn't anything. It's probably just some indentation left by some freak in this river. But that wasn't good enough for me. I needed to do some research and find out if there was anything in Ohio that could make a footprint of this size. My research led me to this town, a small river town along the Ohio River. But this town is home to a lot more than just these flightless birds. Similar to Loveland, this is the birthplace of a much lesser known creature called the Octo-Man. Here's an artist's rendition of that. This creature was first spotted in 1959, 4 years after the first Frogman sightings. The creature is said to have emerged from the Ohio River and was reported as having tentacles or tendrils hanging off the upper part of its body. All these people, unaware of the immediate danger they're in. This water treatment plant is the location of one of the last known sightings of the Octo-Man. I must travel there in search of information. I have a theory that the octopus man and the frogman could possibly be related, or perhaps even the same creature. The water pump is conveniently very close to where the Little Miami dumps into the Ohio River. I think it's possible that the creatures seen here in 1959 traveled upstream to Loveland and reappeared in 1970. This is an opinion that is held by me and no one else. At the time, people actually theorized that the Octoman could be some sort of extraterrestrial or cosmic being, though I don't necessarily believe that. I started to find bones of different fish and animal that washed up on the rocks. I wonder if this could be some sort of feeding ground for the creature. With my keen senses and wandering eye, I noticed something through the trees.
Let's hop over this.
Storm drain.
That way's blocked off. Hello? Octopus man? Frogman? Oh shit. Blocked off. Blocked off.
I could feel a thick slime underneath my feet that lined the inside of the tunnel.
Fuck.
I theorized that it could be some sort of residue left by the frogman.
That would have been nice to know.
Ah, the river. Nothing like being on the river. Look at the size of this fish. Here it is compared to my size 13 shoe. I feel like this is something a frogman would eat. I've arrived at my destination. Found another fish skeleton and just kind of looked at it. In general, I had no idea what to do next. I figured I'd go and try to get a look of the building, a lay of the land, you know, that kind of thing. see what was going on, what the deal was. I found myself locked out of nearly everywhere. The water station itself was heavily fortified. Barbed wire, cameras, alarms. It looked like they were trying to keep people out. Or maybe they were trying to keep something in? I had to check this place out from another angle. I didn't come this far just to give up immediately. Everywhere I looked, it was the same deal. Fences, barbed wire. Even this giant metal wall. I saw a door up there. There was no way I was getting in. Look at that boat. Luckily, I still had a few leads I could follow. I remembered at the Frogman Festival, they talked about an incident that happened in 2016.
Now we're going to get into some scandal right here, because in 2016, the frog plays Pokemon Go.
He talks about how a couple of teenagers say they saw the Frogman dip in and out of a lake.
Quote, he was a huge frog near the water, not in the game, Pokemon Go, friends. This was an actual giant frog. I took a couple of pictures and a video because I'd never seen one that big. Then the thing stood up and walked on its hind legs, end quote. So he did take videos and take pictures. This is a still. So now we've got glowing eyes, okay, his video. So this is what he took. I keep saying he took this because there is no reason to Blair Witch it, but he did, okay? So this is him. Okay, that's him.
Yeah, sorry, to me that looks like a bunch of bullshit. I find myself back in Loveland, specifically Lake Isabella. This is the location of that 2016 sighting. It's the last known sighting of the Frogman. Most people consider this sighting to be a hoax, and I would tend to agree with that. One thing I did notice about the area is how many birds there were. Everywhere I looked, there seemed to be another bird. I stood here and kind of stared at this bird for a while. Made eye contact with him. I stood here and watched this bird eat this fish. Look at that water. In general, I kind of find birds to be repulsive. They're strange creatures. But I thought this one was kind of cool. As expected, I found nothing at the lake. But I wanted to give this Frogman thing one last shot.
follow the spider web at some point.
Oh boy.
You like that? I couldn't afford a gun. Does that look good? We are here underneath this bridge. Now, the Frogman has been known to hide under bridges just like this one.
Flashlight on it.
Does that say bat ass? Best ass?
Bat ass.
Now here we have some markings on the wall. They really could mean anything. We're not entirely sure who put them there. It was probably a person, but there's really no way to tell. Now, to the untrained eye, this bridge may look structurally sound, but actually it's years and years old.
Do I have to hold it?
Oh, I should get my hammer. Watch your step. Let's just go under it. The light at you shined. Just a heads up, the other side of this is just a pit of stagnant water. Right here.
I'm tight. I'm wide.
Right here. We're at one of the possible resting grounds for the Frogman. We're walking on hollowed ground right now. Look at that. Disgusting. What is that? A
Cupcake.
It's a cupcake? Nice. Oh, you know what? I'll throw a rock in so people can tell we're by the river.
During my initial research into frogs, I found out that frogs are actually attracted to the sound of other frogs. I decided to use that bit of knowledge to try and lure in the Frogman.
There's nothing frogs love more than worms. Get a good close up on that worm, get that good shine.
it focus now?
Yeah.
Okay. Zoom in on those worms.
That's more bait than I thought would be in there. That cost me $3. Now we wait.
I'm not seeing a lot of activity.
This is insane.
It's gonna work. You gotta trust the process, okay?
It did, in fact, not work. Overall, I feel like I could have handled this investigation more professionally, but I think the results would still be the same. All the evidence points to the Frogman not being real, but I'd like to believe he's out there.